and welcome back to the PhatPhish Guitar Studio. I'm Dave, and in this video, which is the latest in the Tone Talk series, we're going to be taking a look at the humble boost pedal, which, if you'll excuse the slightly clickbaity title for this video, it's a surprisingly versatile piece of kit considering it only has one sort of function, and that is to make your guitar signal louder. Now, where a boost pedal differs from just the volume control on your guitar is that the boost pedal is active. Volume control on your guitar is basically a filter. The signal comes out of the pickups at, if you like, at full volume, and as you turn the volume control down, it attenuates the signal, makes it quiet, and you get less level in your signal. What a boost pedal does is it takes the signal that's coming into it and it lifts it. It adds gain, it adds level. Now, this is distinct to something like an overdrive pedal, which is intended to take the signals beyond the stage where it distorts and clips and compresses. All the boost pedal is doing is making things louder. So this particular video, I'm using my Thompson custom guitar into my PV King 50, and the boost pedal in question is this one. It's the Blackstar LT boost. Other boost pedals are available. Some will have other little tricks up their sleeve, but fundamentally all boost pedals have one function, and that is to make the signal louder. So it'll have a knob on called boost or level or gain or something like that. Now, in this first demo, just showing you what it does, the function of the boost pedal is to make your guitar signal louder. So here I've actually got it wired in the effects loop on the amp. So this is the clean channel of the amp on its own. Step on the boost pedal. Likewise, if I go onto the dirty channel, yeah, you can hear that all the boost pedal is doing there is making the guitar signal louder. So that's function one for the boost, making the guitar signal louder. Now, where a boost is classically used is in front of the amp to add a bit more gain. Now, I've talked about this before, but basically what happens with gain is, if you think about this as your guitar signal going into the amp, if you increase the gain on it, it gets louder until eventually it gets beyond the headroom of the amp, more that the circuitry is able to handle, and it clips and it compresses and it distorts. And that's where a boost pedal can be used to give an amp a little bit of a push. So here, if we go back to the clean channel on its own sounds like this. But I've got the boost pedal here with the gain turned up to about 3 o'clock. Now kick that in. So you can hear there, it's starting to break up. But this isn't an overdrive pedal. This is a boost. What's happening there is the preamp on the clean channel is getting more signal than it can handle, and it's starting to fracture, it's starting to break up, and it's starting to distort and compress. And that's a classic use for a boost pedal, is to take a clean amp or an amp that's just on the edge of breakup and kind of push it a little bit further. If you want the classic AC/DC sound, try taking an amp that's just on the edge of breakup, going in with the boost pedal, and it'll just push it that a little bit further and give you a nice clean sounds a bit of a paradox, a clean distortion, but it's a very light, very transparent kind of overdrive. So potential use number 3 is kind of related to that other use, but rather than going into a clean channel on the amp or one that's just on the edge of breakup, we're going to go to one that's already reasonably well distorted. So here, this is the dirty channel on the amp with all the gain just coming from the preamp itself. Kick in the boost pedal. Now it gets a little bit louder because there's more gain going there, but what's really happening is, with the boost pedal increasing the signal level of the guitar going into the preamp, it's adding distortion onto the gain that's already on the amp. It's different to just turning the gain stage on the amp up. It's getting back to gain stacking, that we've got something overdriving the overdriven signal. So that's a third use, overdriving an already overdriven guitar amp signal. So use number 4 is a bit of a paradoxical sounding one, but it's about using the boost pedal as a cut. So why would you want to do that? Well, it seems a bit daft because all the other examples we've seen for boost, it's about adding gain, so something you might want to stand on when you want to make yourself louder, so like for coming up to a solo or something. So you could use a boost to give you an artificially quiet sound if you're going into a particular quiet passage on a song. But where I've seen it used like this most often, and certainly I know a guy who gigs regularly with like a number of guitars like this, Strats, which have lower output vintage pickups on them, but for a couple of songs on the set uses Les Paul. Just got pickups like this, higher output humbuckers. Now he likes the sound of the humbucker. It's thicker, it's fatter, it's richer. But the problem is these pickups are hotter, they're louder, they're going to push the amp a little bit more, and it's going to change the sound of the amp in terms of gain. So what a boost pedal set to cut allows you to do is to kind of normalise the volume out. So when you play a louder guitar, stand on the boost pedal as a cut to kind of bring the volume, fundamental volume of the guitar down a little bit, and what that then does is reduce the amount of gain coming from the preamp. So again, this situation we're using the boost in front of the preamp to kind of normalise the level of gain going into the amp. So that's use number 4. Okay, use number 5 is using the boost pedal as an EQ. Now, not all boost pedals allow you to do this. This particular boost pedal has bass and treble controls on it as well. It's like an active circuit, so I can add in bass and treble, which is what I'm going to do here now. Still on the clean channel of the amp, because it sounds like this without the boost pedal. Stand on the boost pedal. So you can hear we've got a bit of gain coming in and starting to break the amp up into overdrive, but it's also changing the EQ of the sound. It's fatter, it's got more bass and a little bit more treble. Now let's try that on the dirty channel of the amp. So dirty channel on its own sounds like this. Stand on the boost pedal. So that's got a little bit more gain because the like I said, the boost is set. It's about 3 o'clock, so it's increasing the gain, but it's changing the sound of the guitar because the EQ's different. It's got more bass and a little bit more treble, and I think that gives you a much fatter sound. And this is something that's great for making a guitar sound heavier. We're not adding in another overdrive pedal, so we're not adding tons and tons of gain. We're just boosting the signal, adding a little bit more gain into an already overdriven signal, and then using the EQ to shape the sound, give us something a little bit fatter. So let's just compare that with and without. Yeah, you can hear the difference when you put that boost in. It's just a bigger, fatter sound. And if you're playing metal, things like that, that need a big, fat, intense sound, using a boost pedal is often a better way to go than reaching for something like a distortion pedal or an overdrive. So there you go, 5 uses for a fairly simple, fairly humble pedal. Using it in the effects loop as a volume control, something you can stand on just to make your guitar louder if you want to use it as a boost when you're coming into a solo or something like that. Or I suppose you could use it as a cut if you wanted, if you occasionally needed to make yourself quieter. Option 2, in front of the amp to take a clean channel or an amp that's just on the edge of breakup, kind of pushing it into overdrive. Option 3, using it in front of the amp to take an overdriven channel to kind of the next stage by stacking gain on top of gain. Option 4, using it in front of the amp to kind of normalise the volume of guitar, so you using it as a cut, so when you turn that on you can use it with hotter output pickups but not driving the amp as hard as they might otherwise do. And option 5, exploiting the EQ on that on the pedal, if it has that, to allow you to shape the sound a little bit more. Very good for giving you heavy guitar tones. As I said, depending on the kind of boost pedal that you have, some of those options may not be available in terms of like EQ, or there might be some other bells and whistles on there which aren't on this particular boost pedal. But hopefully it's kind of opened your eyes up to what you can do with a fairly simplistic pedal, what it can do to change the sound of your guitar. You know, it's not about just gain, it's not just about overdrive and distortion pedals. And if you think back to the earlier video that I did about gain stacking, you know, think about how your signal chain works and how the gain is shaped going into the amplifier. It's all about shaping your sound. Okay, I hope you found that useful. If you did and enjoyed it, please click like down there. And if you really enjoyed it and you want to see other videos in this series and, well, any other videos, please click subscribe and you'll be notified of other videos that I upload onto the YouTube channel. If you want to leave a comment down there, you're more than welcome, but if you've got a specific question, something that you want to ask me about guitar gear, music equipment, music theory, anything like that, probably better off going here, filling that form, sending your question in, and I'll guarantee to see that. I don't always see comments on YouTube videos, just got too many videos out there and YouTube doesn't always let me know when people comment. That form comes direct to me, so I'm guaranteed to see it, and I'll try and get around to answering your question in a future video. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.